Coach's Corner is brought to you by Capital Investment Company of Virginia.
Hello and welcome into another episode of Coach's Corner. I'm Mitch, Stewart, and this afternoon I'm joined by Dawgs head coach Dan Bremner. Dan, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
A bit of an interesting road trip for you all this past weekend. We talked a little bit about it in our pregame interview on Friday, but Thursday night obviously was not an ideal performance for you all. You were pretty frustrated about the 3-0 loss to Knoxville, but seems like you got the response you were maybe hoping for on Friday night, a back-and-forth game with a very good second-place Birmingham squad. You ended up getting an overtime loss 5-4 against the Bulls. Once the dust settled on that weekend, what was your assessment of your team's performance on Thursday and Friday night?
Yeah, obviously, we talked about it a bit on Friday, but Thursday, and I said it to our guys too, and I'm probably going to stand by this, that might be the most embarrassing loss in Dawgs history. And not necessarily because of the lineup we were facing with them being short and everything, but the effort, it was just unacceptable. And that's something we talk with our guys a lot about is like, you know, the execution's not going to be there sometimes, bad eyes, whatever you want to call it, you're not feeling the puck, whatever it is. But that was an absolute lack of effort from top to bottom in our lineup. I don't know if I could pick out anybody that was an exception to that rule, which, you know, rolled into, you know, Saturday. And, you know, as far as I'm concerned, accountability should always be from the top. And Mac Jansen may not have been our worst player on the ice on Thursday, but the standard for him has to be way higher than everybody else. He has to be leading the way when it comes to that. And you know, the example of pulling him out was definitely the message is that, you know, he has to be better and he has to drag everybody else along. Obviously, everybody else has to be better as well. And you know, we did get a pretty good response in energy. I still think we were a little sloppy. You know, you play a team that's high octane up and down the ice like Birmingham would give a bunch of odd man rushes, and they capitalized and we battled our way back. And obviously our PK needed to be a bit better, maybe not be in the box so much. That was a game we saw, you know, short 8 times that game, including one in overtime. So, you know, getting the points great. You know, the drive is always to get the win there. But, you know, the big thing is, and what I'm excited about is the reason we have the leaders who they are with Mac Jansen, with Matty O'Day, with Josh Nenadal. Couldn't have asked for a better response, not only from those guys that were in the lineup, but Jansen as well. You know, there's ways you can go about it, and you can look outward and point fingers and why you're not in and pout. And he didn't do that for a second. He looked at himself, took a look in the mirror, and we had a great conversation after the weekend, the 3 captains and Ian and myself. And you know, I think it's putting us in the right direction going forward.
You talk about your leadership group, and another part of that is having goaltender Austin Rodebush in net. You've shown a lot of confidence in him this year, and you've been rewarded time and again where he's been the workhorse for you in net. Now Brody Clays ends up in the ECHL with Adirondack. You ended up getting Justin Gortman to come in for a few days as an emergency backup goaltender, and now got some more goaltender news coming today with Tyler Roy coming into town. Can you just kind of give us an update on what we should expect this weekend between the pipes for Roanoke?
Yeah, I mean, Rhodey's been a rock for us, and we'll be looking for him to carry the load going forward. You know, with Brody, wish him the best of luck, and again, it becomes an opportunity for somebody else. Right now it's Tyler Roy, and he'll get a look, and he was in practice today after a long day of travel yesterday, and looked pretty good. As far as Rhodey, you know, going back to him, it's not been giving him opportunity, it's been him earning opportunity, and obviously last time Brody took a call-up, way back in the beginning part of the season. Rhodey stepped up in a big way, and he had probably the best stretch of 12 games going forward from there that he's seen this year, and he's been good lately as well. So looking for him to continue that and up his game as well as we're kind of going down the stretch with 12 more to go into the playoffs.
Roshan Jaswal kind of got thrown into the fire that first weekend against Knoxville, and then even this past weekend where you're still kind of dealing with some of the suspensions from that home series with Knoxville. How important is it, do you think, for him to get that many minutes out of the gate with your group? And also, how do you feel like he's fitting in out there on the ice so far with the Rail Yard Dawgs?
On the ice, I think fitting in really well. In the locker room, I think fitting in really well. Great guy, good team guy. And maybe not what you always think is the ideal situation, just get dumped in there like that. But he responded to it really well. You know, he ate a lot of minutes when we were working with the 4D, with Armstrong back there and Zemi back there. Three of our regular guys, and they were eating. The three regulars were eating a ton of minutes, and you know, he stepped up. I think we saw a little fatigue from him last weekend, just with the draining weekend prior, and then into Friday, a little bit of fatigue. So, but the guys got a lot of rest through the weekend, and looking forward to kind of our fresh lineup heading into this weekend.
Bit of an unfortunate situation. You get Tristan Gagnon in.
Oh.
He makes his debut with Roanoke, and on his second shift, he ends up going out of the game with an injury. The Dawgs did place him on the injured reserve list. Do you think that there's maybe a possibility that he comes back this year without getting into the details?
Yeah,
to try to respect his privacy?
Yeah, we're hoping so. That's the hope right now. What a horrible bounce. I mean, from him, talking to him, he's never been injured in his hockey career so far. And we love the way he looked in practice the week leading up to the games. He's got a great competitive motor. And a good skill set to go with it. So he plays a good, hard, physical game, and adding that skill with it is awesome. We saw it even in Sparks in his first couple shifts, and yeah, just an unfortunate balance. Part of the business is sometimes those things happen. So we're hopeful that we can get him back for a playoff run towards the end of the year, and we're just going to take it kind of day by day, week by week.
You've been able to find some more success here recently on the power play. 4 power play goals in your last 4 games. I know that's been a big focus for you with those 2 power play units. How do you feel like they've been kind of gelling, and do you feel like their confidence has picked up here with some success here recently?
Yeah, and for them, confidence is such a big word, and you know, I think the confidence for them and the success that they've seen actually started in practice. We made some adjustments, just kind of gave a different look on our breakout. I think same with you know, the dog days of the year everybody talks about, and kind of those energy lulls that you see, little waves. I think the same thing can happen just with like monotony when it's like the same look on a power play all the time. And we made a different look on the breakout, which didn't change a ton, but just doing something a bit different, and I think gave them a little bit of life, and they were having a different bit of a look at it. And then in zone they started moving the puck a little bit better. So you know, little adjustments, and it's things we're going to continue now trying to show them the rest of the way through the season, is try to keep that energy high, that life high, by making little adjustments here and there, different looks, so that it can stay fun and engaging for them as well. So really excited about you know, the last few games success we've seen on that.
Get to go to Huntsville this weekend. It feels like year in and year out, the Havoc always up at the top of the standings. They're in 3rd place heading into this weekend. Roanoke did beat them 5-2 the last time that we went down to Huntsville back about a month ago in early February.
Yeah.
What do you expect from your group and from the Havoc in this 2-game series this weekend?
Huntsville's, you know, been consistent for years now, and we know what to expect out of them. We know they're top guys, and we know that they're performers. They, you know, they're competitors down the stretch. They're always going. So I'm expecting great competition. You know, we talked about this after the Vermilion County rescheduling changes and everything. Call it better or worse or anything in between, every weekend for us is going to be a great test, and it's you know, obviously roll right into Huntsville, and they're a good team. And from us, the big focus is the compete and energy level that we had on Friday, and then look to continue to improve on our execution. When we compete like that, we can play with any team in the league. We can beat any team in the league. So, you know, with the big break we had this past weekend, a few days off for the guys, really looking for them down the stretch here to really have that energy consistently.
Well, Dan, looking forward to it. Best of luck to you guys this weekend.
Thanks, Mitch.
That's going to do it for this episode of Coach's Corner. You heard it here just now. Roanoke hits the road this Friday and Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, both nights against the Huntsville Havoc. Remember, Friday night's game, a watch party sponsored by Bud Light over at The Hangout, located in Holland. So we hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Coach's Corner is brought to you by Capital Investment Company of Virginia.